Saturday. If you're new here, my name is Lisa and I make gardening and nature videos on YouTube. It is Saturday today. I don't know what day it is. It's June, maybe the 8th. I'm not even sure anymore. And today it's time to do another garden update. There have been so many changes since last week. This is the time of year when the growth and the flowers are exploding in the garden, both in the vegetable garden, the ornamentals, all around the entire property. There is new things to see. I truly think this is going to be a longer live stream. I think my last one was 40 minutes. This one could very well be longer. I don't know. Kind of just go with the flow and see where we go. And there's lots to see. So let's get started. Before I do the tour, this is created by Grandma Sandy. It's a YouTube collaboration with many channels. There's 4 of us: Susie in New York, so Fuchs Susie, Patricia and Cube, who's now Pat's Garden Life, and Barb Dally Rural Life. Hey Tony, welcome to my backyard garden tour. And since you're the first one here, we're gonna start the tour with my fig tree. Actually, I have multiple fig trees, but let's get started. Since you love figs, let's turn the camera around and show you the fig tree situation. I kind of just go with the flow. I don't really have a plan for these live streams. It's just whatever seems to be the right topic to show you and talk about. So this is my one of 2 Desert King fig trees. Actually, I might have 3. I don't know what some of my mystery ones are. So just planted it in, I think, November of last year. Brand new tree to this property, and it just has 1 or 2 figs. I think it's 1 actually. But that's all right for the first year. No problem there. At least it's got something on the tree. And this is Desert King fig tree number 2. These were not bought at the traditional garden nurseries. I got this from a local guy, well, kind of local, living on another island called Gabriola. He's like a kind of a garden nerd, if you want to stereotype someone who has a lot of fig trees and fruit trees and just loves to propagate trees and all that kind of stuff. So not a traditional nursery, but that doesn't matter. The tree looks very healthy and lush. And I think it's going to do pretty well here. So that's the situation with the figs. There are more fig trees to see, but we're going to save those for a little bit later and get back to the vegetable garden where we started. Hey EL, DK is best in our area. Oh, Desert King is best in many areas. It's a very productive fig. So this is the vegetable garden. Lots and lots of stuff is happening in here. Now, it was very windy the last couple days, and I did have a new tomato slash bean slash sunflower, let's call it a support system that I was beginning to create. But the wind has caused a little bit of problems. So I do have some, let's call it, modifications that need to be made to this garden system. I did go to the beach and I got some more stuff. I also went to thrift stores. I also went in my shed, and just here is one of my tomato plants. Now this bed, if you've been around for a while, I put sheep manure in here. And I didn't put it in my other 2 raised beds. This is brand new, constructed this year from us. Me and my parents built this. And I put aged and unaged sheep manure into this vegetable box, but only this one. I didn't put it in the other ones. And I do think there's a massive difference in growth. Like, check out these tomatoes. They are just on fire with growth. So I planted tomatoes in 2 separate sessions. This was session number 1, and I'm going to show you some other tomato plants. This is also session number 1 that are in my other beds that were planted on the exact same day, and we're going to compare the size and how vigorous they are to these ones, because this is kind of insane. These ones already are starting to flower, and it's not captured well on the camera, but they're at least a foot, maybe a foot and a half tall already. So we're gonna whip around over here and check out other tomatoes planted on the same day. This is absolutely nuts. This little tomato planted at the exact same time is not even a quarter of the size. It is just like very slow to grow. Same here, this one, very slow to grow. So there's that. These ones were planted in session number 2. They're doing a little bit better. And again, this bed does not have manure. There's no amendments here. This is original soil. I don't know what was in this soil, but it could be good, could be bad, but I don't think it's as fertile as the one where the sheep manure is. Like that one is just on steroids back here. Now I do have some tragic news to share in the garden, and this is in relation to my watermelon growing experiment. So I had 3 watermelon plants that I had attempted to grow, and I built little watermelon houses for them. And I have to say, to this date, 2 of them have passed away. You can switch from vertical mode stream by changing your phone's orientation to landscape, and then turn off auto rotate by changing your phone's orientation to landscape. So are you saying, I am not good with the technology, are you saying if I turn the phone horizontal, will that automatically turn the live stream to horizontal? I thought that really screws around with the settings. I am not familiar with doing that other than, oh, the crow. The crow that is haunting me in real life and on live stream just flew by. I'm sure it's watching me right now. I'm not entirely sure if you mean that if I just flip the phone this way, that I can flip the live stream and it's not going to distort anything or change things in the wrong way. Never had success with watermelon. Looks good. Yes. Okay, guys, I will try this. If it screws the live stream, I'm sorry. I've never really done that because I've done my laptop live stream in horizontal, but I don't usually switch between horizontal and vertical in the middle of a live video. I do it occasionally if I'm making a recorded video. Okay, so if this screws things over, let me know. Orientation is locked. Okay, it just gave me a message saying the device orientation is locked and it's not even gonna let me flip it. I don't know if you even saw the flip, but yeah, I didn't think it was gonna work, but that's okay. There probably is a way to do that. It's fine, didn't work. Yeah, it's okay, I'm not gonna play around with it. Maybe one day I'll get more into the details of this technology. I'm just not a technology person, but I usually do the horizontal ones if I'm on my laptop, but I don't really do laptop for like big motion tours. Like that's more if it's like a sit down kind of live stream, but if I'm doing a little tour, it's too hard to bring the laptop out here and just haul it around for every little clip. So we'll turn the camera around. We're gonna just do it in vertical, just as usual. So these are the watermelon houses. Now, watermelon number 1 passed away quite a while ago. I haven't really showed it, but that is okay. I actually planted some cantaloupe seeds in here. Now, it might be too late in the season for these to get going. I direct seeded them a week or 2 weeks ago now. I haven't seen any growth yet. I don't know if it's going to do anything, but that's okay. There's so much other stuff in this bed that it doesn't really matter if it doesn't do anything. So we're going to look at watermelon number 2. You can see the remnants of the body, if you want to call it that. The plant, I know this is dead. I think we had a couple cold nights that were just too much. I don't know who you are or what you're doing. I just found this live and you look like a nice woman. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. What kind of tree is this? This is arbutus. I had a massive, well, quite a large arbutus tree on my property that was very sick and needed to be cut down for many reasons. But I saved a lot of the branches, big and small, for garden function and art. I have another one over here. Arbutus are beautiful trees. They're actually protected on Vancouver Island, but you are allowed to cut them down with special permission. So that's an arbutus tree from my tree that was cut. So over here, we have seen the 2 watermelons that have passed. We're going to take a look at the one that is on life support right now, but is still around right here. Now, you might think there's no hope for this little watermelon plant, and you might be right. I don't know, but it is definitely still alive. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'm giving it some TLC and hoping for the best. Realistically, I don't expect much though. Given that it's pretty sick looking right now, it is alive for sure, but I don't have a lot of hope for it. But that being said, now this is so off topic, and that's kind of how my brain works. I had something else in my garden that is not food related that I was really losing hope on. It was kind of a pipe dream of something that was here on this property when I moved here, and I didn't for sure know what it was, but I really wanted to see if it was going to work out. And I'm going to show it to you. I almost turned the live stream on 2 or 3 days ago when I made this discovery, but I stopped myself because it's a flower, I'll give you that, and we are going to go take a look at it in a couple of minutes. I stopped myself from showing you right away because I thought, who in this world is going to be so excited about this flower blooming other than me? I'm kind of weird, like, why would anyone get excited about a particular flower blooming when it's not even a rare flower or anything like that? It's only because I didn't know if this was going to work out, and I also didn't know for sure what it was. I thought I knew what it was, but I wasn't certain. That's true, gardeners. And that's why I like live streams, and that's why I like YouTube, because in real life, when I used to share my excitement for the garden with the few people, very few people ever shared the same enthusiasm. And you can tell when you're talking to someone who isn't genuine about your excitement or how, how excited this makes you feel, and nobody really understands unless they are a true plant person. People can fake it, but it's not real. It really isn't. So let's go see my exciting discovery from a few days ago. I hope it's still blooming, but if it isn't, I suspect there might be more than one blooming because I have a few of them. So we're gonna go check out the rock garden. It's something over there that I cannot wait to show you. We'll be back to the vegetable garden. This is quite a large, long, lengthy live stream. And by the way, welcome Susie. I did see you, and I'm trying to acknowledge everyone, but sometimes I get so excited and into the garden tour that I forget to acknowledge people who are watching. And I know some people watch in secret too, so that's okay too. I think we all watch in secret sometimes. So we're headed to the rock garden, but we're actually going for a specific spot. We'll take a look at the bigger details in a little bit, but we're looking at something very specific right now. See, the poppies have started blooming, so pretty. We're not after poppies though today. And oh my gosh, I haven't been out here because I've been working, and I didn't know this was blooming, but this is exciting. Holy smokes, this is not what I was going to show you, but I've been waiting for this to bloom, and oh my god, it is so beautiful. This is a spirea shrub, and yes, I butcher the name every single time I say the name. If someone can type it out, if you know what I'm saying. I've been corrected in the comments section on numerous old videos at my last house where I had this video on how terrible my pronunciation is. So if you actually know what this is called, I'm not saying it correctly, but it is a beautiful shrub. I think it's spirea, but it's not. It's something similar to that. The color though, oh my gosh, the flowers. It's not exactly the same as my old one at the last property, but I am in love. Holy smokes. What a treat. This was, not something I planted. It was already here, but I love it. Oh, thank you. You're very kind. Trident. I'm probably saying your name wrong too. This is my cactus, and this is not what I'm showing you, but it's just, I can't resist. It's doing so well. We're not an island that typically grows cactus outside, but it is something my neighbor gave me, and I'm very grateful for it. Now, shoot, is it still blooming? Let me have a look. I think it may have stopped, actually. What I'm going to show you is a rose. Now, where did the blossom go? Or has it faded? It may have faded already. I have wild roses. I have a ton of wild roses. I'll show you the bushes. And I didn't know if they would flower, and I didn't even know if they were wild roses. This whole area was grass and weeds when I moved here. So this was all redone in this past 6 months. Oh, I see what happened. So this is the rose bush, and it was blooming just a few days ago, but the flowers have faded already. I should have turned the live stream on when I found them. But that's okay. I'm sure there's going to be more. So there are a ton of these in this flower bed. Probably like, I'm going to say at least 20. And these are all wild roses. And when I made the discovery, oh my God, the flower is kind of a pastel pale pink, very large bloom. And I did a sniff test for myself, not for the camera. And it smells so amazing. I was so delighted and so excited. And I had a bad feeling this might happen if I didn't live stream. The flower might be gone. But I'm anticipating there's going to be more flowers. I think it was the very first bloom of the season that I found. So when it blooms again, and I'm sure it's going to within the next days or weeks, I'm definitely going to turn the camera on at the time the flowers are here. Because I have to show you, I was so over the moon excited about this flower. It's unfortunate that it's not there right now, but it'll be back. I'm quite certain of that. This here, this is again, I cannot pronounce it. Wheelgia? It's not right, but it's almost finished blooming, and I didn't have a lot of hope for it putting it here because this is not a drought-tolerant plant. And this is a very hot, dry, very dry, sunny location. So I knew this wasn't being planted in an ideal location, and that might be why the foliage is a little bit spotty on it. Might not really be getting enough water. But in general, given all that information and the amount that I do water it, which is not very much, it's actually doing pretty well. I have to say, I'm not disappointed in it. I probably should give it a little bit of TLC. But overall, very, very happy with how it's done so far. And I don't remember if I showed you guys this. I think I talked about it in a live stream and then maybe forgot to show you. This is one of the little surprises that Mother Nature has given me in this garden, and I'm so excited to show you. We look over here. This is not something that I planted. This is a little tiny, tiny baby Japanese maple tree seedling. And if you've been around my channel for a while, back at my old house, I grew Japanese maples from seedlings to, I think they were about 7 to 10 feet tall when I left, over the course of 10 years. Now, I don't expect to be in this house for 10 years, but regardless, Japanese maples, first of all, are quite pricey if you buy them at the nursery. And secondly, can be a little bit tricky to grow. Sometimes they're a bit finicky. So if Mother Nature gives you one, leave it where it is if it's not in a bad spot, and you will be delighted with the outcome in the future. So that is super fun. I actually have another Japanese maple to show you. I think we'll go there next. We might stop and see a few other things. And this is again one that Mother Nature planted. Okay, there's a little bit of I transplanted it. Mother Nature planted it underneath my back deck where there were weeds, and I was pulling the weeds out and I found this little baby tree. So I decided to move it. There's my palm tree. And I'll show you where I put it. We're going over here to another spot in the rock garden. You're experimenting with planting dwarf maple trees. I'm stuck 3 in the ground and they are sprouting little leaves. Oh, that is so exciting. I used to be obsessed with collecting Japanese maple tree seedlings at my old house. I actually ended up giving away some for free because I had like a little forest in my vegetable garden. But I had too many for my space. But that is such a fun little hobby. So right here, is a Japanese maple tree number 2 that I transplanted from under my back deck. Now, I think this is a great spot if it does survive and thrive. If you think of the color scheme, this is a dark red, and I think it's going to mirror my smoke tree over here, smoke bush. Really, really pretty once it gets growing. So this is kind of a dark purpley foliage, and I think like location wise we're like about parallel in the garden from where the Japanese seedling is, Japanese tree seedling. So I think in the future, it might be 5 years down the road, when they're both bigger and more lush, the colors will mirror each other and the structure, and it'll be so pretty in the garden. The whole theme I have in this garden is mirrored images. So I have like this tree, hold on, this tree over here. We're gonna go to the other side of the garden. There's a tree that mirrors it, that is the same species, parallel, right over here. You can't see it now, the fig tree is blocking it, but see if I go like this maybe. You can see this is the same variety of tree as the one in the background. That's an Alberta spruce. And in the future, I think it's gonna look so pretty as all these species are mirroring each other. I have more species that mirror each other. I did that as an effect throughout the entire rock garden as much as I was able to put plants on opposite sides that mirror each other. Just kind of a neat landscaping effect. And it's gonna take a while before you can really see the results of that, but I think it's gonna be really, really spectacular in years to come. Even if I'm not the one living here, somebody is going to really enjoy the design. So let's see what else. I haven't been in this garden for a few days, so what other surprises are out here? I don't know if there's anything else super new going on. Now, it may not look like much, but there's actually a lot of wildflowers out here. And I also planted a bunch of other milk jug flowers, and I don't even know what they are anymore because my labels have rubbed off. But I was planting like mad yesterday or the day before, but not really looking at the garden. I was just planting when I was out here. So inside this little cat, I have 2 or 3 different varieties of flowers, both in the body, in the head, and in the whiskers. You can see, I think these are poppies. And then these might be Dusty Millers. And there's some other flower, and I don't know what it is, as well as the wildflowers I think are coming up. So in probably about a month from now, this cat is going to look very different than what it looks like right now. And then if you come into the garden, there's a ton of little tiny flower seeds. So some of the bigger ones are weeds. There's some actually flowers. These are poppies from seed, mixed with weeds, mixed with wildflowers. So it's going to be quite a display. And yes, I will pull more of the weeds pretty soon. But I cannot wait to see what it's going to look like. And the fun thing about wildflowers, when you get the mixes, you never know what you're going to get. You could get perennials, you could get poppies, you could get all kinds of different flowers. I've got wallflowers from wildflower mixes. You can get all kinds of interesting stuff. So it's always a surprise when you have a wildflower mix. We're gonna go look at my actual wildflowers that are blooming already and just see how they're doing out by the mailbox. I've shown them a few times here. I think they're looking more rustic and wild now, for better or for worse. It's getting quite wild in this corner. There's a mixture of poppies. All of these flowers that are sort of white with stripes, they're mostly finished their blooming time now. But the poppies are next in line in this corner, and they're really starting to flourish now. We've got this one that's kind of a mixture of pink and red with a little bit of yellow. So gorgeous. I just love the wind, how they dance in the wind. And then we've got a few red ones popping up. Lots of the pink ones here. And then this mystery flower, this is not a poppy, kind of yellow and white stripes. Some kind of wildflower, but I have no idea what it is. Susie says, that's great, Tony. Do you know what they're called? I'm new to maple trees too, but in the container I have a crimson queen and little sango. I don't know. This is a pastel one, which is super pretty. There's a red one at the back. And there's definitely more to come. There's tons and tons of poppy buds out here. So that is really exciting. Now this area is still a little bit of a mess. There's grasses, gravel, dandelions, and a few stray blackberry bushes that I haven't got out yet. So my plan is actually to have the wildflowers extend from here all the way to the ditch. So I do need to do a bit of a cleanup with the weeds, probably get my rake out. And once I have it cleaned up, then I'm going to seed, I already have the seeds, a bunch more wildflower mixes in that area. And then I'm gonna have to hand water for a while. The temperatures are quite warm now, so I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm hoping if I continue with the seeding, it'll be a continual display of flowers from now until the fall. So that is the plan. So let's go back and do more investigations into the vegetable garden. We didn't really check too much of that out. And then there's more to see in the ornamentals in the backyard. A lot of stuff going on with the ornamental flowers. And yeah, it's going to be quite a lot to see in the next little bit. There's my patio. I did a very late, like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. I was filming a video up here about my umbrella. Just love this solar powered umbrella. It is so cool. I didn't necessarily plan on staying up late to be outside and enjoy the umbrella, but I'm gonna have to change my sleeping patterns because it's so beautiful. I cannot have enough of this umbrella. You were kicked off for a few seconds, but you're back. Oh, thank you for coming back. So, what should we check out next? There's so much to see here. My spinach. I have been eating this spinach and it is on fire with growth. It keeps telling me, like it keeps showing me like it's gonna bloom, but I don't think it is. Or if it is, it's very slow. I keep cutting it off. Very delicious. I love the purple. So this is a purple mountain spinach, but it also has kind of olive green foliage on some of the stems. Really, really delicious. I mix it with my Swiss chard in salads or wraps, and it is very good. Now this, I think, is a calendula flower that might have either, I think it's self-seeded. I think I planted some somewhere else, but I don't recall planting them here. So it looks pretty lush, probably gonna bloom soon. We've got, holy smokes, look at that strawberry. Now I knew I had strawberries, but I didn't know they were so big or so ripe. That might be actually edible already. Let's check it out. I had no idea the garden was coming along. You know what? I think I'm going to eat it. And that is because there's so many birds around here. It is a miracle that they haven't found this. So let's do a taste test. This is not my first strawberry. It's my first one from this garden, but I have strawberries planted along the perimeter of my fence. And I've already had 3 of those this season that the birds had pecked a couple of bites, but I still ate it anyways. So let's try this strawberry and see how sweet it is. Now I could have let it ripen slightly longer, but I think it's still gonna be delicious. Let's try. It's not super sweet. It's not bad. It could have ripened longer. I'm still really enjoying it, but I'm enjoying the fact that I got it before the birds. So there's that. Really delicious. I tend to like things that aren't too sweet anyways, so it is my preference anyway. Your property and garden is looking really beautiful. Thank you. My rosemary is finished blooming. Let's check out. Hold on, guys. I don't know what happened. I pressed like 2 buttons by accident and everything disappeared. And I went back to like the YouTube homepage and I don't know how the heck that happened. I was like, oh my God, am I still recording or am I like out of it? I don't even know. And I pressed a couple more buttons and it came back. I hate when that stuff happens because it's so scary. You don't even know if it's recording still. So it's all good, but we're back, it looks like. Let's look at my, holy smokes. Okay, this bell pepper is great, and something happened here. This one was attached yesterday. Now let's see what's going on. What the heck happened just yesterday? It was fully attached. I don't know if this was a bug. Was it the wind? Somebody was out here. I don't know how this happened. It doesn't look healthy though. It looks like something was getting it, even if it wasn't the wind or anything like that. I don't know. Something overnight did this, but this one's still looking good. Yeah, the peppers are a little bit early. I'm kind of surprised. But these ones are doing very well, even though the plants are so tiny. These are like the tiniest little plants, but they already have peppers on them, which is crazy. And it says this is red Belgian. I've never actually grown this one before. I don't know if this is a mini bell pepper, but whatever it is very happy in this little spot here. Right beside the lavender, bees are usually here. Oh, there's a few. I think they're actually going for the California lilac right now more than the lavender. We'll go check that out shortly. So, I'm gonna stop and show you my spaghetti squash. Now this is grown in a milk jug, and out of all of my plants in this entire garden, I think for some reason it is thriving way more than the others. This is the sheep manure bed, but they're not all doing this well. So this was spaghetti squash. This one here is also spaghetti squash from the milk jug, and it got eaten, but it is making a comeback. And there's another spaghetti squash, which is not even a quarter of the size, also from the milk jug. But for some reason, this one right here looks like it is on steroids compared to the other ones. No complaints. Not sure why the other ones don't look like that though. So let's go check out some of the ornamental plants. Oh, I've got to show you my mermaid lavender. It is blooming. I am so excited about this. Right here, I introduced this plant, a month or 2 ago. It was the first time I ever saw it before. I believe this is called mermaid lavender, and it's actually Iberis, if I'm not mistaken. I think I have the tag. Mermaid lavender Iberis, which I think is a form of candy tuft ground cover. And it is so gorgeous. I have 3 of them. There's 1, 2, 3, and what you see at the back, this is actually a wallflower that has been blooming for almost 3 months now. It's incredible. And it's mixed with yellow flowers. It didn't start like that, but now it's getting these little, I would say the flowers have like a little bit of yellow coming into them, which is super interesting. And I just love how they pair so well together. The textures and the colors are very close. It's such a pop of brightness in this little corner here. My peas are finally on fire with growth. So I'm growing peas around my fruit trees this year. And normally in most growing seasons on Vancouver Island, we would be already have harvested so many. And this year they're just starting to bloom in June, which is kind of crazy. It's been a really weird growing season, but that's all right. We've got more over here. These ones are taller and the flowers are just starting to come out. Now I am a little concerned that they're not climbing the fig tree the way I wanted them to. Maybe I should actually tie them up. I might do that a little bit later. And same here, this was intended to climb on this wooden structure, but I don't know if it's the wind or what happened. It's not climbing right now, so I might need to do some tying of these plants. And oh my god, guys, I have to show you this. Now, I think it's a peony. At first, I wasn't sure if it was peony versus delphinium, but I'm pretty sure it's peony, and it came with this property, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the flowers to open. I thought they were going to be red or purple. They are not red or purple, but let me show you. I am so excited. Check it out. There are so many, and oh my goodness, they are so gorgeous. There are several of them open now, and we're gonna do a sniff test. I have not smelled these flowers yet before, and I'm so curious if they actually have any fragrance. So let's do this. Oh my goodness, they smell like perfume. Oh, so beautiful. I love it. I've never grown peonies in my life. My mom had some in one of our gardens that we lived in a house by the water, and they were delightful. She had tree peonies as well. I think she had a perennial one as well. The tree one was lovely, but I personally have never grown a peony, and I am so in love with these flowers. They are massive. Like the size of my hand to the flower is crazy. And they require like no maintenance. All I do is occasionally water it. I don't do anything else. And they are just gorgeous. And the lush foliage, there's no diseases. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them, which is amazing. So in love with this. I might have to buy more peonies because they are absolutely stunning. So I think we're gonna check out the California lilac. It is finally in full bloom, and it is just full of flowers. I had this at my last property, and it didn't get nearly as many flowers as the one here. It is just covered, and the bees really do love this. If you can see that bee, there's several of them buzzing around here, big and small. Definitely one of the yard attractors of the pollinators. A lot of them are hiding, but there are definitely a lot of bees on this bush. I was actually thinking the other day of doing another bee live stream. Like I did, I think 2 of them at my old property, where I just went around and showed people the bees that were buzzing around the different flowers. That might be a fun thing to do one day. I think we're gonna go check out one of my other fig trees that I didn't show you yet. I think this is potentially another Desert King. This was original on this property, and I think it might have a couple figs on it, not very many. What I suspect happened was those people the previous owners, I think they cut it down like a hard pruning, and it's just bouncing back this year. So I think next year it will really bounce back, but it's got a long way to go. So we're going back out here to the rock garden to check out the fig tree. This is the bigger one. And I have peas that I have growing around this fig tree as well. And these ones are the most vigorous for whatever reason. The peas have almost reached the top of the tree, and they do have some flowers on them. And let's do a little look for figs. I thought there were some on here, but I'm not so sure anymore if they fell off or what's going on. I don't see them right now. Or maybe they're just hidden in the foliage. It's hard to say. And I'm also going to show you my apple tree. We may have some work to do, and I haven't decided if I'm going to do it today. But here is my apple tree. This is a multi-variety apple tree, and it was original to this property. And it is actually full of apples. I don't think that there are I think this tree is pretty young, actually. I don't think it's very old, but it is just covered in apples. I'm going to estimate at least 100. There very well could be more on this tree, and this is a very, very small tree. Now see this side of the tree. There's, I think, Red Delicious, as well as, what is this? Brie burn apple, and I think there's a third one. I can't remember. There was some tags that came off that since I moved here, they kind of fell off, but kind of interesting. So I'm gonna have to thin this. Now this is always heartbreaking to me, but as you can see, say this cluster of apples right here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now on a tree this size, this will be devastating. If I let them mature, this is not going to be good news for the tree. So I'm going to do this in multiple sessions. It always breaks my heart, but we're going to start removing these little tiny ones because they're taking energy away from the bigger fruits. And what will happen often on Vancouver Island in June, we get a lot of wind. And a lot of times these little tiny ones that I just pulled off will actually fall off naturally in the wind, but sometimes they don't. Now that happened at my last property last June. I didn't thin them as, let's say I didn't go as profoundly on the thinning of these little guys. And I ended up with over 500 apples. For better or for worse, I should have thinned them more and had bigger apples. Because when you thin your apples, you're essentially creating a bigger fruit for the ones that remain. So if you want big, juicy, lush apples and you have a lot of apples on the tree, this is essential. If you don't do it, it's not likely you're going to get very big fruits, or if you don't do it enough. It is a very important part of growing fruit, is actually thinning the fruit. So maybe we'll do a little bit more since I have you guys here, and I'm not motivated to do this on my own. I usually avoid this because it just breaks my heart to take off the little fruits. But it is a good thing to be doing when you have so many of them. And really, you're helping the tree be healthier doing this. So it is a very important thing to do if you want to grow good fruits on your trees. I'm just kind of deciding as we go. I'm probably going to do this in multiple sessions. Take off these little small fruits. But just a reminder, if you have fruit trees, you should go and check how they're doing. And if this is something that you might want to get into, is thinning your fruits. Wouldn't be a bad idea if your tree is very vigorous, and you will prolong the longevity of your fruit tree. I'll tell you a story about my plum tree at my last place. It was 5 variety, had 1 year. In year 3, it produced probably about 1,000 plums. It was absolutely crazy. The tree couldn't handle the weight. I had to cut back 50% of the tree, and it was never the same. I never had another good growing season, and I think I cut too much of the tree off, but it was pretty much breaking from the weight, and that's why it's important to do this, especially on young trees, because the trees cannot support the weight of this many fruits when they're just so abundant. It's a wonderful thing, but you really have to take good care of your trees if you want. See, this one is not coming off, and sometimes that's how I decide if I'm going to take it off. If it comes off easily, it's going to be one that I remove, but if it is giving me trouble when I try to take it off, it's going to stay on the tree. So just kind of giving it a one over. The top of the tree is absolutely loaded. Now this is one section. I'm going to bet there's 20 apples in this one little part of the tree. I'm sort of pulling it down as well as the wind is pulling it, but let's see if we can remove a bunch from here. Doing it one-handed. It's a little bit tall for me, but that's all right. Now these are not wanting to come off. I was going to take them off, but they are pretty stuck on there, so they'll stay for a little longer. Actually, a lot of them are quite stuck on the tree. So I think we're going to end the live stream here. Thank you so much for watching. I think I've showed you most of the highlights for this week. I hope you have a lovely day, evening, night, wherever you are. Get out in your garden, go enjoy nature, and we'll see you soon. I don't know when, but soon in another video, most likely in the forest. Bye-bye.